What's going on, everyone? I am back here with another video for you guys today. And today I'm going to be giving you guys my full review of the Google NextBook 8GB tablet. So I've had it for about a couple weeks now, and I feel I can give you guys a pretty decent review of this particular device. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So first things first, I'm going to give you guys the hardware tour. Give you guys a look at the actual device itself here. So on the front, starting with the display, we have a 7-inch diagonal display, which has a resolution of 800 by 480 resolution, which is definitely not the best resolution screen you can get on a tablet, but for the price, being at $70 for this particular model, for the price, it's actually an okay resolution, but it's still not very good. One thing I do have to note is if you're looking at the screen in portrait orientation as we are right now, the screen will look very, very distorted and kind of washed out, and it'll mess with your eyes a little bit. So if you do decide to pick up this tablet, I would really recommend using it in landscape orientation most of the time, because when you look at it in this orientation, the screen looks absolutely normal. But it does have really bad viewing angles, so if you tilt it slightly out of view, it'll degrade the quality by a fair amount. So keep that in mind if you're deciding to purchase this tablet anytime soon. So that's the display. So now moving up here at the very top, we have a 0.3 megapixel front-facing camera that records video at VGA quality. So very, very poor camera quality, but basically it's just there for quick video chats with your friends and some quick profile pictures and stuff like that. It's not meant to take some high quality, high resolution pictures of landscape and everything like that. So it's not meant to be your main camera. And then on the front here, we don't have any physical home button. Since this is a Google-based tablet, just like the Nexus 7, the home button is actually integrated to the software. So when you turn on the device, the home button will actually be inside of the software. So also keep that in mind if you are worried that there's no home button. On this side, see if I can get it focused in here. Alright. Right here we have the sleep-wake / on-off switch or button. We have our volume up and down rocker. And then we have nothing down here on the side. On the bottom, we have our 3.5mm headset jack. Our speaker, which I believe is stereo. I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me on that. It looks to be stereo, but I'm not too sure on that. On this side, we have nothing. But we do have, right here, an SD card slot, or a microSD card slot, I should say, which you can expand the storage up to 64 gigabytes, which is always nice. And then right next to that, we have our microphone, which is actually in a very odd position. It's facing out the back of the device. Moving to the top, we have our micro USB port next to our micro HDMI, which, yes, this can output 1080p HDMI to your HD television, which is pretty cool. Next to that, we have a charging indicator light, which will turn orange when charging, and then it'll turn off when it's done charging. And then next to that, you have your charging port, where you'll connect the proprietary charging connector. And then also the back of this does not come off like normal Google tablets, so the battery is actually integrated into this device, so you cannot take this off and swap out the battery if you need to, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. So that was and if you can tell, it collects a lot of fingerprints because of the glossy display. But anyway, that was the hardware review, so now let's go ahead and move on to the technical specs. This device is packing a 1 GHz Cortex A9 processor, which is definitely not the highest quality or highest power processor that you can get in a tablet nowadays. It comes with 1 GB of DDR3 RAM, which is actually considerably good for this price range of tablet. Most tablets do come with about 2 gigabytes or more of memory. So, but 1 gigabyte for this particular device is actually really good. And it does come in 8 gigabytes of internal memory or storage. But like I said, if you need to expand that storage, you can use the microSD card slot to expand it up to 64 gigabytes, which it should be plenty for most of our everyday needs. It does have built-in Wi-Fi at 802.11bg and N. There's no Bluetooth capability, by the way, so this does not support any type of Bluetooth, unfortunately. But it's not too big of a deal. But if you are purchasing this as your main tablet, and you use Bluetooth on a regular day-to-day basis, you are going to need to probably find a higher-end model of this particular tablet, and find one with Bluetooth in it. So moving on, like I said, we have the 0.3 megapixel front-facing camera, which is very low quality. The USB 2.0 port is only for syncing, by the way. It is not used for charging. Like I said, you have that proprietary charging connector up on the top of the device, which is really actually odd for just actually any Android tablet, because most tablets running Android use a combination of the USB cable to both sync and charge. So I find that a little bit weird. One thing I do also find really kind of cool is that even though the screen is low quality, it does manage to play back 1080p HD video in a 16:9 aspect ratio. So when viewing the screen in landscape orientation, you are going to get 1080p quality video out of it, which is surprising on this particular lower end tablet. Most tablets only support up to, or most lower end tablets I should say, only support up to 720p and lower resolutions, which is kind of odd. But 1080p here, it's really nice. It also has a G sensor, and the battery can withstand 5 hours of runtime, which is, I mean, okay, but not the best. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of the dimensions of the device. So starting with the weight, it comes in at a 325.9 grams, which is considerably light. It's a normal weight for this size of a tablet. And we have 192 millimeters by 11.3 millimeters by 117.66 millimeters dimensions. That is the landscape and portrait orientation, the long ways and slanted way, I guess you could say. I don't care, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, one last thing to note of the technical specs is that this is running not the latest version of Android. It is running Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. So you do not get to have the new features of Jelly Bean and Up, which is kind of unfortunate, and you do not get to have the updated interface as well. So it's kind of a bummer, but for those of you that don't particularly care about updates and everything, this should do just fine. So now before I jump into the actual software, I'm going to give a side-by-side comparison to the Samsung Galaxy 3 tablet. Alright, I had to grab it real quick. The Samsung Galaxy Tab 3, which we have right here. So as you can see, they're basically the same size. Just the Google NextBook over here has a slightly wider bezel, and it's slightly taller as well. As you can see here, it's about a half an inch taller. But the screen size is exactly the same. Just the aspect ratio is slightly different, and I actually had this one upside down, by the way. Oops. But anyways, you can see over here we have an actual physical home button, as over here we do not. And another thing to note is the menu button, as we can see here. This one, the NextBook, does not have an actual menu button, which is kind of odd, because it only has the home button, the back button, and the multitasking button within the software buttons down here at the corner when you would turn on the device, which is kind of weird. But here we go. Here's the front. Here's how we look on the side. See if I can focus in on this. There you go. They're fairly same in thickness. The NextBook might be slightly thicker than the Galaxy Tab, but it's not anything too noticeable. Let's go ahead and flip them around. So you can see here, one thing to note is that we do miss a back-facing camera on the NextBook, but on the Galaxy Tab you get a 3.0 megapixel rear-facing camera, which can, by the way, shoot in 720p video. But on the NextBook you do not get the rear-facing camera on the 7-inch model. But if you do happen to purchase the 8-inch model, you would happen to get a 3 megapixel rear-facing camera with no autofocusing, unfortunately. But you do get the rear-facing camera on the 8-inch model. So I'll bring the Galaxy Tab back in just a minute to compare the software via the 4.0 Android sandwich. I am so sorry about that. 4.0 ice cream sandwich to Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. So let's go ahead and turn it on here. Like I said, it's better to view in landscape. So here's the lock screen. You have your info down here about your Wi-Fi, your battery, and some quick notifications. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And one thing to note is you really want to clear out some of the applications because it'll make the device run seriously slow, which is kind of annoying, but that's because of the 1 gigahertz processor. So we have two options. We can go over here and launch the camera, or we can just slide over here and unlock the device. So here we are on the main home screen. All of these apps and widgets that you see here I have previously added. So when you actually purchase this tablet, these apps and widgets will not be here. The only thing you'll have on this page is the Google search bar. So here are the home screens. This one is here by default. This is just a blank page. And this is another one that'll be here by default, but like I said, the apps and widgets you have to add manually. They will not be there by default. And here are the software buttons that I was talking about. You have back, home, and multitasking. But like I said previously, you do not have the menu button as you do on the Galaxy Tab. So, standard home button, you can click it and it'll bring you home just like so. You have multitasking, you click it and it'll open up your recent applications. And then the back button, of course, will bring you back to the previous page that you were looking at. So to give you an example of that, let me go ahead and open up the music player here. And then if you hit the back button, it'll take you back to the home menu, but same thing will be happening with the home button, as you can see there. And then same thing with the multitasking. Whoops, I launched the music again. Alright, hit multitasking, there you go. And you have the music application. If you want to slide or dismiss the app, you slide it to either left or right of the screen, like so, and then it dismisses it. And we do not have the standard pull-down notification menu as you do in Android 4.1. Normally you'd swipe down from the top and you'd get your notification menu. But in Ice Cream Sandwich on this particular device, you have to tap. Let me wait until that notification goes away. Okay, you have to tap the time right here. As you can see, it's really slow. So this is actually your notification menu. So you have all of your notifications below this, your time. So if you want to remove it, swipe it like usual. And then there you go. Swipe it like usual. And there you go. But then you also give you some quick access information like your date and time, your Wi-Fi information, and your battery with percentage. And then a quick launch to the settings app. So you can click this. And then you can get some quick access to some of the settings. So you can change Wi-Fi, auto-rotate the screen, your screen brightness, notifications, and then launch the actual settings app if you prefer to do that. And then if you want to access your applications, it's kind of hard to find if you're new to this particular tablet, but you have to hit this little dot icon up here. You click it, and it jumps you right into the app drawer, as some may call it. So we have all of our pages of apps here. We've got we have 3 pages of apps, and then if you click this, you'll go to your widgets section, and we've got 3 pages of widgets as well. Pretty standard amount. But just like normal, if you want to add a widget, all you'd have to do is grab the widget and then place it on whichever home screen you want. So you want to place it here. You have to hold and then drag and drop, and then there you go, your widget is now on your home screen. The same thing applies to applications. So if I want to add Chrome, tap and hold, place it where I want. There you go. And then if you want to remove an application or a widget, you tap and hold again. Go up to the little remove icon there, and it removes it off of your home screen. Same thing with widgets. Slide it up, hit delete, or put it on the remove icon, and it'll be gone. So going back into the widget drawer, or excuse me, application/widget drawer, you can actually, right here in the top right corner, you can click this and it'll take you directly to the Google Play Store, where you can immediately download more applications, as well as TV shows and movies and anything like that, such as themes and songs, music, all that good stuff. Basically everything in one place. Go ahead and hit the home button and go back. One thing I have noticed with this particular tablet is the fact that it is very slow. As you can see here, trying to go back to the home screen is very laggy and kind of unresponsive. And at times, some apps and even the home screen launcher will actually stop responding, and you have to actually reboot the device. So keep that in mind if you actually want to purchase this tablet, that you might encounter some pretty serious lagging issues and irresponsive. See, I really can't talk right now. Non-responsive applications. So that's actually really annoying in my opinion, because when I'll be just using the tablet on a day-to-day basis. Sorry, my mouth is kind of getting dry. But using it just on an everyday basis, and I'll be just using some applications and, say for example, watching a video on YouTube, and then the app will actually just randomly crash and say it's not responding, and it'll push me back to the home screen. And like I said before, it'll even actually, the launcher home screen menu here will actually crash and freeze up, and that's actually where you'd have to reboot the device, which I don't find at all very convenient. So basically, if you're in the market for a tablet, I would not particularly recommend this tablet here. I mean, no doubt it's a good, cheap, lower-end tablet that'll basically get the basics done, like email and web browsing, but for heavy-duty stuff like document storing, high processing related applications and processes, you're going to want to go for a higher-end tablet, such as the Galaxy Tab 3. This tablet is only $199 at Best Buy, or most retailers, and you get a fairly good amount of specs in it, and it handles itself really well. It does have some slight lagging issues, but nowhere near as noticeable as the NextBook here. So if I were to recommend a tablet of between these two, I would say go with the Galaxy Tab 3 over the NextBook, because you're getting, for just about $150 more, you're getting a much higher specs than the NextBook, and you're getting not the latest version of Android, but a better version of Android, which is Jelly Bean, versus the ice cream sandwich over here, which is, of course, more laggy than the updated version. So Yeah, if I were to rate this in terms of stars, I would rate the Google NextBook 7-inch a 3 out of 5 stars, just for the fact of how cheap everything is on it. But like I said, if you're just wanting a basic tablet to get your basic everyday stuff done, for example, web browsing and email, this will definitely suit your needs pretty well. But if you're wanting to have more specs and do more high process hungry uh, stuff, I would say get either the uh, Galaxy Tab or one of the higher end Google tablets. So as you can see here, even just going side to side on the page, as this one's kind of lagging right now, as you can see, that's what I was talking about. It kind of has some minor lag issues, but overall it's a really smooth experience compared to the NextBook. So overall, concluding this review, turned out to be a fairly long video. Sorry about that, you guys, but I wanted to get my thoughts in on this and just get everything out there. But to conclude this video, I would definitely recommend the Galaxy Tab 3 7-inch tablet over the Google NextBook 7-inch tablet. I would just recommend spending that extra $150, getting a much more reliable, better tablet that will be able to handle a lot more higher end processing needing stuff you might do in the future. So that's pretty much it of this full review. Like I said, the video did kind of get fairly long, so I apologize for that. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and make sure to comment right down below there in the comment sections below. Let me know what you guys think about this tablet here, and let me know if you guys will be picking one up. But like I said, I recommend this one more, so get this one over this one. This one's way too cheap for my uses. But anyway, hit the subscribe button right down there. Also, thumbs up the video. Always appreciate that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching again, and peace out till next time.